This is my life according to Erik Erikson's stages of development. The first stage is trust versus mistrust, ages birth to 2 years. During this stage, I relied completely on my family. My mother was a stay-at-home mom and made sure that all my needs were met. I was a happy but meddlesome baby, and I could always find something to climb or chew on. The next stage is autonomy versus doubt and shame, ages 2 to 4. From the moment that I learned to talk, I never stopped. As a small child, I loved to be the center of attention. I was the youngest of 3 girls and wanted to be just like my older sisters. So at the age of 3, I started ballet classes. This is when my love of performing started. Even when I didn't have a stage, I would dress up and put on plays with my sisters in our garage. The third stage is initiative versus guilt, ages 4 to 5. It was during this time that I started to explore my athletic side. I started playing both t-ball and soccer and quickly discovered my competitive nature. It was also during this time that I discovered my clumsy side. I was always falling and constantly had a scraped knee. One time I even fell off the back of the bleachers at the softball fields and knocked out my 2 front teeth. The fourth stage is industry versus inferiority, ages 5 to 12. During this time in my life, I was constantly moving. I attended 3 different elementary schools and lived in 4 different cities. This helped me to develop a strong sense of independence. I learned to make friends quickly and adjust to new surroundings. I was very social and constantly got in trouble for talking during class. It was during this time that I tried just about every activity imaginable. I continued with soccer and softball and added gymnastics, swimming, and basketball. At the age of 6, I performed in my first play. From that moment, I was hooked. I loved the rush of acting and the thought of pretending to be someone else. It was during this time that I started to hit puberty. I was always the tallest in my class, and people constantly thought I was older than I was. When I was 12, I went on a college tour with my sister and got mistaken for a prospective student. The fifth stage is identity versus role confusion, ages 13 to 19. During this stage, I played around a lot with who I was. After 6th grade, I quit softball. I felt like something was missing, so I decided to start diving. Although I had always played sports, I had never really been passionate about a sport until diving. I also became very involved with my church youth group at this time. I went on numerous mission trips around the country. I also had the opportunity to go on international trips to Kenya, Ethiopia, and Puerto Rico. It was on my trip to Kenya that I discovered my passion for education and decided that I wanted to become a teacher. At the start of my junior year, I had to choose between diving and theater. I chose theater and never looked back. I starred in our fall play that year and even got the opportunity to direct one of our pieces for competition. My senior year, my friends and I were unable to perform in our fall play because of tensions within the theater department. This caused us to grow even closer. We became so close that we renamed our group the Union. After graduation, we realized that we would all have to go our separate ways, but we were determined not to grow apart. I am proud to say that we are still just as close as we were in high school. I began college in the fall at a school that was over 20 hours away from my home. I made friends quickly, but was constantly homesick. I loved Butler, but did not feel like it was my second semester freshman year, I rushed and joined a sorority. It was exactly what I needed. I found my home at Butler, and I can honestly say that I met some of my best friends through Pi. Then came my sophomore year. I have continued to grow close with my sorority sisters, and my passion for education has grown as well, which has reassured me that I've made the right decision in becoming an educator.